What is going on, guys? It is May 9th, 10 a.m. right now, and I am just getting ready to run to the store real quick because the dog is out of food again. Hold on, I'm gonna get the car. You just gotta love that fucking sound, man. It gets my dick hard a little bit, but I was faced with a dilemma this morning, right? I woke up a little bit late. The dog was crying because he needed food. Still had to do fasted morning cardio. And you know, the old bitch mind tried creeping his way in. Tried being a sneaky little fucking coming in and saying, you know what if we don't do fasted cardio? We just do cardio later in the day because it's an off day today. And really, would that make that big of a difference, doing fasted versus later in the day? No, as far as fat loss goes and all that, wouldn't have made that big of a difference. But the reality is, it's the mindset that would have allowed me to not do what I was supposed to do in order to be a little bit more comfortable that would fuck me over. Because it's allowing that little bit of complacency to come in whenever life gets a little bit chaotic, a little bit difficult, and then you seek out comfort rather than doing the hard thing you're just supposed to do that comes into your life and then starts spreading to all the other aspects of your life. Because I guarantee if I would have let myself do it this one time, it would have happened another time that things got a little bit difficult. Because like I always say, life is always going to throw challenges your way. It's always going to make things harder than they should be. And in those moments, you just got to do what you're supposed to fucking do. Don't give in to complacency, which will then lead to you feeling comfortable, because it will spread through your fucking life like a cancer and into all aspects. And before you know it, in the blink of an eye, you're going to be off track for achieving your goals. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about something that is absolutely fucking essential if you want to live a life that you're happy with and if you want to achieve your goals, and that is how to stop giving a fuck about what other people think of you and what you're doing with your life. But if you were living your life based on other people's opinions of you and letting their opinions of you dictate your actions or your lack of actions, you are not free. You're not in control of your life. You're not living your life. You are a slave to those other people's opinions, and you're living the life that they want you to live, not the way that you want to live. Because I was at one point in my life a guy that really cared about what other people thought of me, because there was a lot of times in my life where I didn't do things that I wanted to do, like social media, for example, because I was afraid of getting judged and I wanted other people's approval. But I am at a point in my life now, and I have been for a couple years, where I do not give a fuck what other people think of me, because I know what is best for me. I know when I'm doing what I want to be doing with my life. And so other people's opinions about what I'm doing don't really fucking matter, because I'm confident in my decisions. But there's two aspects that come into play here whenever it comes to not caring about what other people think of you and your decisions in life. And that is confidence and self-awareness, right? Because if we go too far onto the confidence side of things, where you just don't care what other people think, and you're gonna do what you wanna do no matter what, then you can become pretty narcissistic, right? Because if everybody's telling you you're wrong about something and you're just stubborn and overly confident in yourself and your ego is too big, then you won't listen to those people. And that's just narcissistic. So you have to have the self-awareness to also have humility and realize when you are wrong about things. And this really comes down to knowing yourself as a person. Because if you know yourself to your deepest levels, you'll know when you're insecure, you'll know when you're confident in things, you'll know when you're doing what's right for you, and you'll know your morals and values and be strong in them, and you'll know when you're doing what is right in your eyes and when you're doing what is wrong. But if you don't have the humility aspect, then you're not going to know when you're doing something that is incorrect, because other people might start telling you, hey, you're doing something that's morally wrong. And you're trying to convince yourself because of your ego that it's not morally wrong, because maybe you're pursuing financial gain, where you're doing something that will boost your ego, and you're convincing yourself that is morally correct, but really it is not. So you also need to have the humility to listen to people and hear them out and understand their point of view, and really be able to assess your subconscious and really come to the conclusion of whether they just have a different life perspective than you, or they have different views than you, or if you really are doing something morally incorrect or something that is wrong and you need to change your ways. And a big part of this as well is having a small group of people in your life that you truly care about and truly know you to your deepest fucking roots. Because if you listen to everybody's opinion of you, most people don't know the real you. And you really have to have that small group of people that you really trust, that you can confide in and come to and ask, you know, am I doing something that's wrong? And these people have to be people that want what's best for you, because a lot of people will pretend to want what's best for you, but in reality, they will give you their opinions and their thoughts based on their own ego. But at the end of the day, the biggest aspect is knowing yourself to the deepest levels, knowing your subconscious, understanding how it works, understanding your morals, your values, and from that you can have confidence in yourself and knowing you're doing what's right for you and what's right according to your morals and your values in life. But I'm gonna run to the store right now, go get that dog food, and we'll dive into this a little bit deeper in a bit. But we also just hit 1K subs on YouTube, so thank you guys. That means a fuck ton. To me, it doesn't feel like that big of a deal because my eyes are on like 100,000, 500,000 subscribers and building this giant, awesome community. But hitting 1K is just a sign to me. It's proof of concept that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm heading in the right direction, and to keep doing what I'm doing so that we can get to that point eventually. But I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Alrighty guys, what is up? We're just cooking up some beef. It's a rest day today, so very boring day. I just kind of chill out, relax, unwind a little bit. That way I can get ready to give tomorrow my fucking everything. But I've been sitting there contemplating a way to properly describe this to you guys, right? Because there's a lot of times that I understand what I'm thinking and I understand my message, but if I can't find the words to properly convey it to you guys in a way that you understand, then it's pointless, right? And I probably don't have a good grasp on understanding the topic if I can't, give the message to other people. So I think I finally came up with it. And what it comes down to is the thing you're looking for is not what you think. You're not looking to just not care what other people think about you, right? Because if that's the case, then you're gonna end up being a narcissist. Because if you never care about what anybody thinks of you, and you never care about anybody else's opinions, and you never listen to them, then you completely lack humility. You lack the ability to understand when you're incorrect and when you're wrong about something, and therefore you lack the ability to learn from your mistakes, and you lack the ability to learn what is correct when you are wrong, so you can't grow as a person or a man. So what you're really looking for isn't just to not care about what other people think, but it is to know yourself so well as a person and to have so much self-awareness that whenever you do something, you know deep down that it is what is right, and therefore not caring what people think will be a result of that. So really this comes down to understanding who you are. And so in order to understand who you are as a person, you need to have a strong grasp of your morals, your values, and why you have those morals and values. You need to have a strong grasp of what you think is right, what you think is wrong, a strong grasp of what you're willing to stand for and what you stand against. And by grasp, I mean have a strong understanding of why you feel that way about those things. Because if you truly understand deep down why you stand for things or why you're doing something or why you feel a certain way about something, then as a result, you're just not going to care what people think because you understand the why behind it. You know the reason. And a lot of people don't really realize that caring about what other people think of you is just a sign that you lack confidence in the things that you're doing and in yourself. Because if you truly did have the confidence in knowing what you're doing is right, or that whatever you're saying is right, or whatever it may be, then as a result, you just wouldn't care what people think because you'd understand to a deeper level that you're doing what is right. But what a lot of people try to do is they try to do things that aren't right, that don't align with their morals and values. And so deep down, they're unsure of themselves, but they're trying to convince themselves that they aren't. But they end up in turn caring what other people think, and it just ends up being a sign that they aren't capable of seeing, that they need to understand their why behind that thing. Or it might be a sign that they're doing something that doesn't align with their morals and values. You see people do this all the time in the pursuit of financial gain or an ego boost or something. They'll do something that they know deep down isn't right and it's not good, but they convince themselves that it is because they're getting that financial gain or ego boost or whatever it is. And then people call them out on it and they get all defensive because they're trying to convince themselves that what they're doing is right. And they don't lack confidence in themselves because they're doing something that goes against what they know is good. And so in turn, they do care what people think about them. But for an example, let's say that you are afraid of posting on social media because you're afraid of people judging you. You're afraid of recording yourself in the gym because you're afraid of people judging you. You're probably afraid of those people judging you because you don't understand to a deeper level why you're doing it. If you truly had a deep understanding that you were doing it to help people get better, or that you were trying to build a successful business or something, then you wouldn't care what other people thought naturally because you would understand that you're doing it for a bigger reason and for a good reason. And what you need to understand is all the people that are gonna judge you and all this shit, their opinions don't really matter at the end of the day because they don't really know you. They don't know why you're doing what you're doing. They don't know the work that you're putting in to get to where you wanna be. So they can judge all they want, but they don't know the backstory. They don't know the reality of things. They're just judging on the surface what they can see. But a lot of people allow those kind of people's opinions to stop them from doing stuff because they don't even know themselves well enough, right? Because if you have a deep understanding of yourself and the work that you've put into something, let's say your physique, or you have a deep understanding of why you feel a certain way about something, then you aren't going to care what those kind of people think, because you're going to know deep down to your deepest roots the work that you put in or why you feel a certain way about something. But I think that a lot of people's biggest problem is they never do that like soul searching. They never go and try to figure out their whys. Or a lot of times the insecurity and caring about what other people think is for a good reason. Like, for example, a kid posting his physique online and he's afraid to do it because he's afraid of people judging him. And he hasn't been putting in the work. He hasn't been lifting hard, hasn't been nailing his nutrition or anything. And as a result, his physique isn't that great. So now he's afraid to post it online. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, you're afraid of judgment from people because you haven't put in the work and you know that deep down. And so because you're afraid of that judgment from people, that's probably a good sign that you should put your shit together, because it's a hell of a lot different if you have put in the work and you have grinded to get to where you want to be and you just aren't there yet and you post online. That person probably wouldn't care what other people think, because that person knows the work that they put in. But really the biggest thing at the end of the day is you have to sit down and you have to do some self-reflection and ask yourself these deeper questions and figure out the whys behind your actions and why you feel the way you do about things and why you stand for your morals and your values. And you have to sit down and ask yourself, why do I care what these people think? And you need to be real with yourself. Is it because you're insecure because you haven't put in the work and you're afraid they're gonna see it? And a lot of people lack humility so much and they're so afraid of being wrong that they won't even say the things they believe or do the things they wanna do because they're afraid of people calling them out for being wrong. When, like, dude, it's okay to be wrong about things. At the end of the day, you only know what you know. So you gotta drop your ego and not care about other people telling you that you're wrong. If they tell you you're wrong, take what they're saying into consideration and think about it and examine if you really are wrong about that thing. But at the end of the day, who fucking cares? Or like if you go to post your physique online and some guy tells you that you're small, why do you care what that guy thinks? Because I know me, for example, I've had plenty of people tell me I'm small, but I know the work that I put in and day out, so it doesn't really matter to me. And I know I'm not where I want to be in my bodybuilding career yet, so to me, I do feel small. So I'm like, all right, man, yeah, I mean, if you think I look small, I mean, compared to bigger bodybuilders, I am, but I'm bigger than the average gym bro. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Thanks for your comment, you know? Like, it doesn't bother me. Because at the end of the day, like, I know myself. I know I've put in the work to get to where I am now, and I know that I'm putting in the work to continue to get better. Because a lot of people will also care about other people's opinions because they aren't putting in the work to fix the things that they're being afraid to be judged on. So like if you're overweight and fat or something and you're afraid to take your shirt off at the pool because you think somebody's gonna call you fat and it's something that you don't like about yourself, but you're not doing anything to fix it, then yeah, you're probably gonna care that other people are gonna say stuff about it. But if you're on a diet and you're putting in the work to fix that, then whenever somebody calls you fat, you're just gonna be like, I mean, yeah, I am fat right now, but I'm working to fix it. So, hey, whatever. You know, it's not going to bother you as much. So a big part of it is also taking action on the things that you're afraid of being judged on. But like I said, the most important aspect of this, the foundation of it, is knowing yourself in every aspect. Having the humility and the confidence to know when you're right about things, which you get that confidence from fact checking yourself, from knowing that you put in the work, reflecting on your past actions and your current actions, but also having the humility to know when you're wrong and to be able to take other people's opinions into consideration and question your own beliefs and the things that you stand for. And also having confidence in the things you believe in stuff because you know your whys behind why you stand for those things. If you don't understand the whys for why you stand for something, then of course whenever somebody questions it, you're gonna get all defensive and care what they think, because you don't even know why you fucking stand for it. But if you know yourself the best and you know what's good for you, what's bad for you, then you're not gonna care what other people think because you know inside these things. But a lot of people are insecure and they don't have that confidence of knowing themselves, so they care what other people think. So it all comes down to knowing yourself and building that confidence of knowing who you are. And the only way to really know who you are is to show yourself every day who you are through your actions. If you think you're a disciplined, hardworking person, then you better be showing yourself every day that you are that guy. Because if you go a week without being that person, that's no longer you. Now you're not that guy anymore. So you're probably gonna be insecure about it and not have confidence. So you need to prove to yourself who you are every single fucking day. Alrighty guys, so that video was actually recorded yesterday, but it was a rest day. My brain was like working at 50%, and so I didn't end up finishing the video. So it's now the next day, and I'm gonna finish it off with a couple more things you need to realize whenever it comes to not really giving a fuck what other people think of you. The next thing that you need to realize is that not every interaction is going to be a good one. Not every person is going to like you no matter what you do. And if you're constantly reframing who you are and trying to change who you are in order to try to to make people like you and make every interaction good, then all you're going to end up doing is causing people to lose respect for you and looking at you as something they can use and a person that they can then take advantage of, because there are sharks in the water out there, man. There are people that will look at people like that, people that are like sheeps that care too much about what other people think of them, and they will be like, okay, I can take advantage of this person because they're constantly trying to make me happy and trying to make me like them. So you just need to understand that you're going to get way further in life and be way happier, way better off if you just accept the fact that not everybody's going to like you, and it is far better off being true to who you are than it is being liked by other people. Another thing you need to realize is that you are not the center of attention. You are not the center of the world. Most people honestly do not really give a flying fuck about you, what you're doing with your life, or what you're doing in general. Sure, they might look at you for a second or two, maybe make a quick judgment, and then that's fucking it. They go back to what they're doing. They don't really care. You're not the movie star that everybody's paying attention to, okay? So at the end of the day, you just need to come to the realization that most of the time, people just don't really give a fuck. Most of the time, people might look at what you're doing and be like, oh, that's kind of silly, and then they move the fuck on. And at the end of the day, what does that really matter? Who cares? It's not affecting you in any way, so who gives a fuck? And if they do make a judgment and they say something to you about it, and it hits close to home and it bothers you, then maybe it's because you're insecure and that's something you need to work on. You need to build your confidence in yourself so that the things that other people say to you don't really fucking matter, because you need to come to the realization that those people, they don't know you. They don't know your backstory. They don't know why you're doing something. Like, for example, a big one is people all the time say, oh, you don't work hard. You're on steroids. That means you don't work hard. It doesn't bother me though, because I know the work that I put in every single fucking day. Fasted cardio in the morning. I lift hard as fuck. I eat 6 meals a day, and I'm doing this shit that most people can't even do. And so I have confidence in myself, and I know that, and I know my physique was not built just on steroids. But a guy that his physique was built mostly because of the steroids, and he's not that disciplined, doesn't put the work in, and he's gonna get defensive and feel insecure and shit because he knows deep down he isn't putting in the work. So if you are having the work to back what you're doing, you're more than likely going to develop the confidence in yourself, and from that, not really give a fuck what people think of you. Another thing you need to realize is sometimes judgment, or also another word for judgment is just criticism, is a good thing. Sometimes our egos have this weird way of blocking our perception of reality, usually in the pursuit of financial gain or something that's gonna give us an ego boost, and we try to convince ourselves that we're doing something that is right. And whenever people try to tell us we're doing something that is wrong or whatever it may be, we try to tell ourselves, oh, I don't give a fuck what they say. I'm going to keep on doing it because I know it's right and I just don't care what they think. But in the reality, sometimes we do things that are bad in the pursuit of those things and try to pretend that we don't realize they're bad. And we try to convince ourselves, oh, I'm just a hard ass. I don't give a fuck what other people think. But you have to have the humility to realize that sometimes your ego is going to get in the way of your perception of reality. And you have to learn to look at it objectively and take people's criticisms and be able to analyze it and be like, okay, am I actually doing something that is bad? And ask yourself, okay, am I gaining, money from this or an ego boost or something? And is it possible that maybe I am doing something that doesn't align with my morals and values? And I'm telling myself that it's okay. But I think the biggest difference between judgment and criticism is criticism might come off the same way judgment does, as hateful or mean or whatever. But criticism typically has a reason. Constructive criticism, right? The person saying what they're saying in order to try to make you better. People come at me all the time because I give a lot of constructive criticism in videos and stuff, and I can be a little bit harsh at coming at people, but I'm not doing it to be hateful or mean. I just want people to come to the realization, see reality for what it is, and realize that they need to make changes in their life to get better. Now, judgment, on the other hand, is just meaningless hate, which is stemming from someone's insecurities. They're hating on you because of something inside of them that they don't like. And you doing whatever you're doing, whatever situation is making them feel insecure about themselves in some sort of way, and they're projecting that outwards onto you. And once you really come to understand that, you get a deep understanding of that, the judgment no longer matters. Because it's like you just feel bad for those people now, you feel sorry for them because they have this deep hole inside of them and they feel the need to project negativity outwards towards other people for no reason because of it. So they're hurting inside. And so you come to this acceptance of man, I feel sorry for that guy. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is triggering his emotions so much that he feels the need to hate or judge me. Man, I feel bad for that guy. And now the judgment no longer really fucking matters. So really the overall message here, right, is that you need to develop self-awareness and be able to view yourself objectively, have confidence and humility alongside each other. And then you need to have self-acceptance. You need to accept who you are and be okay with who you are, okay? And if you aren't okay with who you are, you need to look at why that is and take action on fixing it. That is how you don't care what other people think, because once you're taking action on working on the things you don't like about yourself to be better, you're gonna develop confidence from that, and that confidence is gonna lead to you no longer caring what other people think. And whenever it comes to that small group of people that you have in your life that you do actually care about what they think and you take it into consideration, you have to be very, very selective with those people. They have to understand your lifestyle, they have to understand your morals and values, and understand who you are as a person. And you also have to be sure, you have to be damn sure that they truly are gonna give you real hard truth, and that they aren't gonna allow their egos to cloud the truth that they're giving you. Because a lot of times people will do that. A lot of people might try to tell you that you should stop dieting and trying to lose weight because it's gonna have a negative effect on your mental health. But the reality is they're only saying that because they couldn't lose weight because they had no fucking discipline. But a good person to have in your friend group is gonna tell you the hard truth. They're gonna tell you, yeah, it might have a little bit of a negative effect on your mental health. You're gonna have ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be better for you because you're gonna build confidence in yourself. You're gonna build mental toughness in yourself, and you're gonna be more capable as a man and feel better overall once you make that change in your life. So things that you can start to do to work on this stuff is, before you go to bed every night, go through your day 3 times in your head and run through everything that happened, every emotion that you felt, and start asking yourself why. Why did I feel this emotion from this thing? You got to dig deep with this. Go through your actions. Why did I do this? How did it make me feel when I did that? Why did it make me feel that way whenever I did that? Or whenever this person said this to me, it made me feel this way, and why did it make me feel this way? You have to start to examine yourself, even take notes on this kind of stuff, and start to get to know you to your deepest levels. Start journaling every morning. I use a men's journal from a company called Mind Journal. It's fucking awesome, because I used to not really know what questions to ask myself, what to write in this blank notebook, but this one actually asks you questions that are aimed at actually helping you to get to know yourself for this reason. And start to read a little bit of psychology and watch YouTube videos online about psychology and about why people think the way they do, why people do the stuff they do, and so you can get a better understanding of why people judge, why people do things, why people think certain things, because that'll help you get a better grasp on your subconscious, why it works the way it does, and why you are who you are. And you gotta start to develop that sense of self, who you are as a person, what you stand for, why you stand for those things, all that good stuff. And then you also have to make sure that you're taking action on the things you want to do in your life, on your insecurities, on the things you want to change about yourself. Because if you're not taking action on those things, then you're going to be insecure about them, and then you're going to care about what other people think. You have to make sure that you're actually actively working on the things, because that will in turn then give you confidence that you're actually working to change, and then you will slowly not really care what people think of you. But that's basically going to wrap up today's video. I finished up today's video for tomorrow, which is going to be on workout splits and stuff and everything you need to know about that. But I'll see you guys tomorrow.